You know him, you love him. He is a former Steeler. Sorry about that. Also former Cardinal, longtime NFL cornerback, now CBS Sports NFL analyst Bryant McFadden on the fan hotline appearing now. Bryant, welcome back to the show.
Well, first and foremost, listeners, I come in peace. I come as a good Samaritan. I come bearing gifts. I come in peace. I am not the enemy. I'm just a football fan here to talk football.
What gifts do you come bearing? I mean, we settle for like a pack of Doritos. It's not much.
I actually have some Doritos over here that I would share with you or here. Well, it's a big bag, though.
Hey, the gift-bearing situation for Cleveland Browns at the bare minimum, so they'll take anything and be happy with it.
That's fair. B-Mac, when you look at the quarterback situation, did the Browns botch the quarterback situation? Is it too early to say that?
It's not too early to say that because, Dylan Gabriel, who has been the second-team quarterback since the start of the season, he's a true rookie. You know what I mean? He's a rookie, and he didn't get a full training camp preseason regimen to really be acclimated to this new world that he's embarking in on as a professional quarterback in the NFL. So I don't think they botched it. I think they handled it, as they should have, considering Dylan Gabriel, missing the time that he did miss.
Big talk of today is what do they do with the backup quarterback situation? It feels like and again, this is just reading how we're reading this, that Shedeur would not be the backup for this weekend. How do you see it? Do you feel like if Shedeur isn't, that's some sort of slight to Shedeur, or do you feel like it's just nonsensical to have two rookies be your one and then your two?
All right, so let me ask you guys this question because your boots have been on the ground since day one with the Cleveland Browns organization, right? When Joe Flacco was there and he was a starting quarterback, the rotation was Joe Flacco, the one, the two was Dylan Gabriel, and who was the emergency quarterback?
It was Shedeur.
So Shedeur was the emergency quarterback, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shedeur was the guy who was dressed on the sideline, but he wasn't slated to play unless an emergency happened, right?
Correct, Yeah.
So when you move on from Joe Flacco, he's no longer part of the organization. Shouldn't that move everyone else up like he did? Now Dylan Gabriel goes from number 2 to number 1, right?
I believe that is correct, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, shouldn't Shedeur go from the emergency quarterback, who was number 3, to the number 2 position? Right? I'm just trying to figure out the steps that needs to be followed. Is that correct? Right?
The math does check out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we talking about? Help me understand the logic. Either they're just playing coy because of the attention that follows Shedeur. They don't want to make that announcement just yet because of the media attention that will follow him. Hey, he's the number 2 guy. The microphone will be in his face. Or they're just not making any logical sense. Because basically how I laid it down for all you guys that are listening, guys and girls that are listening to me right now, if Shedeur Sanders was the number 3 emergency quarterback while Joe Flacco was there, if Joe Flacco is not the starter and Dylan Gabriel moves up to be the starting quarterback, it only makes sense that Shedeur Sanders is the backup quarterback. Because if he was good enough to be the emergency quarterback, shouldn't he be good enough to be the backup quarterback when Joe Flacco has moved on? Yes or no?
I think it still makes a lot of sense what you're saying.
Yeah, it makes sense to us. We've gotten a lot of pushback on that, and it feels like a lot of people are really latched onto the idea that it'll be Bailey Zappi and not Shedeur. We're both with you. We want to see Shedeur play.
It seems like one good start from Dylan Gabriel has turned people into thinking Dylan Gabriel is going to be the truth and the light, and that they don't need to see Shedeur. And that somehow, Joe was traded because he was a backup quarterback, so it doesn't matter anyway.
And the Browns, Bryant, didn't help themselves today. They were very cagey. They could have just come out and said Shedeur's the backup quarterback, and they avoided every bit of that.
Maybe they're playing coy because of the attention that has followed this young man since becoming a Cleveland Browns. Maybe. But then you look at the Browns and how they've done business in years past. If you're a follower of the Browns, if you've been a fan of the Browns, sometimes they don't do things the conventional way. But right now, if Shedeur Sanders was good enough to have a uniform on game day while Joe Flacco was starting, Bailey Zappi did not dress, right? Correct? Right or wrong?
Yeah. He's on the practice squad, actually.
So what would make Bailey Zappi jump Shedeur Sanders when he wasn't good enough to dress in front of Shedeur Sanders while Joe Flacco was there? It doesn't make any sense. Honestly, I just think they're playing coy. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard how practice went today. Who took what reps with who?
We actually did hear that. I can tell you to you. So Dylan Gabriel took all the starters reps, and then usually they put the backup next to the starter right on one field. They didn't do that today. They put Dylan on one side, and then on the other side, they actually put Shedeur and Bailey Zappi to throw with the practice squad guys and everyone else on a completely different field.
So what are the Browns doing? usually you said the backup quarterback is with the starter, right?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden the backup quarterback is with the practice squad player. Like, come on, Cleveland. That's why, it's annoying. It is to not have a dog in this race, and I'm just a football fan. This is annoying, man. What did something happen with Shedeur where they feel like he needs to be demoted? How can you get demoted when you haven't played?
I think that's pretty fair.
That's very fair. We wonder that question all the time here, too.
Bryant, we're 6 years into the Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry experience, and Kevin is now 4-18 in his last 22 games. There is some hot seat talk here. I'll just ask you, do you think Kevin is a top 10 coach, top 16 coach, top 20 coach, or somewhere in the bottom 12?
Wow. Now, the first two options, clearly, I don't even consider. He's in the bottom 12. He's in the bottom 12. His claim to fame was early on, they got into the playoffs, they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a coach of the year, if not mistaken, in that span. But since then, it's been a tornado of letdowns, I think, especially this season. I can say this, though, guys. They got some young guys that can play football on their roster. They got some young guys. But I don't know if the masses are willing to wait to allow Kevin Stefanski to really, get this new nucleus of players going. Because right now, what the Cleveland Browns may win 3 games, 4. What's the season total right now? I don't know what it was in the beginning of the season with Vegas, but whatever the season total is right now, how many of you guys have the guts, guys and girls have the guts to take the over right now with the Browns?
Oh, I didn't take the over before the season, so I certainly would do it now.
It's waffled between 4.5 and 5.5 wins, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So if let's say hypothetically speaking, if Cleveland wins 4 games this year, they're 4-13. What's your viewpoint with Kevin Stefanski moving forward? I actually think Kevin Stefanski is a pretty good coach. I just think sometimes a change of scenery could help both parties involved. We've seen that before with past head coaches going on to another opportunity where it kind of works out, and it works out for the organization. But right now, he's a bottom 12 coach in my opinion, and you are what your record says you are. What was his record again?
4-18 over the previous 22.
4-18 over the previous 22. 4-18. You are what your record says you are at this point.
All right, let me ask you, I want a primer on the Steelers. They're 3-1. You obviously needed the 60-yard field goal to win the game against the Jets. It hasn't been an easy or really impressive 3-1. How have you seen it?
Honestly, going to the Ireland game before the season, when I looked at the schedule, I thought we would be 3-0 getting ready for that Minnesota game, honestly. But we weren't. But we beat Minnesota, so to your point, we're 3-1 now. And I felt like in that 4-game stretch, as I looked at the season schedule, my prediction would be I could see a realistic number of 3-1. So really, they're kind of sitting where I thought they would be because Minnesota was a playoff team last year. Even without Sam Darnold, I love KOC. I think he's a great coach. The defense is nice as well. So I thought that would be a formidable opponent. And it was, but we won. So being 3-1 is actually what I thought it would be. Now, this is where Pittsburgh, you got to really separate yourself from the pack. Because no one saw the Ravens dealing with the injuries and just now, only having 1 win in the month of October. No one saw that. No one saw Joe Burrow getting injured in the same Cincinnati Bengals surface as of late, not winning games. So if you're Pittsburgh, the next 2 ball games you're playing against backup quarterbacks. You got Cleveland, and I think you got Cincinnati. Well, Cincinnati with Joe Flacco. You still got to take care of your business. Good teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat. You guys know this. You watch football just like I do. Good teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat. So if you're a good team, regardless of what's going on with Cleveland, how good the defense is, quarterbacking, you find a way to win this ball game and create separation from the rest of the AFC North. They have an opportunity, guys, to be 5-1 in the next 2 weeks. If you're Pittsburgh, controlling your own destiny, these 2 games are very, very important, and it starts Sunday against the Browns.
B-Mac, great stuff as always, buddy. Appreciate you. We'll catch you down the line.
Yes, sir. Go Steelers.
Oh, you said we were friends. Bryant McFadden there. Yes, former Steelers cornerback, now with CBS Sports HQ and CBS Sports as an NFL analyst on the Fan Hotline.